Hello everyone, I'm Matt Yoakum from AMP Energy. We're here today at Hendrick Motorsports, joined by Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the new crew chief of the AMP Energy Chevrolet number 88, Steve Letarte. We're going to try to get the scoop on what the team has been doing during the off-season, what we can expect from the entirely new number 88 AMP Energy team, and what we can anticipate we'll see on the racetrack in 2011. So Dale, I know there's a lot of excitement around the shop. What has you all jacked up about the 2011 season?
Well, just everything, all the changes that we made within the company have me excited for everybody. And me going into a new shop and a new environment is always a great experience, always a good learning experience. And so I'm looking forward to that and getting the season going, just waiting to do some laps where they count.
And probably the biggest news of 2011 for you is this guy sitting next to you and the guys that will be working on this car behind us, an entirely new team. What excites you about Steve Letarte and you working together, crew chief and driver?
His cars run in front of mine all last year, and so I'm looking forward to, I think it's one of the cool things about driving a car built by somebody different is that the car tends to drive different. They have their way of putting the rear end housing in the car, stringing the rear end housing. They have a way. They have their opinion on how the front end geometry needs to be, what spindles you run, where the Ackerman slugs are, all those things. And so when I get in his car, I'm anxious to go to the places, the 1.5 miles places, and see what the little small differences are that may improve the car's ability to roll the center, things like that. So you're anticipating all those things, but he's a pretty cool guy and a lot of fun to be around, and got a great attitude about his job, about his approach to the sport. He's very professional, wants to be successful, has been successful, and he does a really good job running his race team. He's got everybody in order, and everybody knows what their job is. No confusion whatsoever, and so it makes it, it really brings your confidence up just being around that all the time, and makes you feel like it's easier to do your job when everything's in order.
Now, Steve, your racing resume is really impressive. Second-generation racer. You grew up with a 7/16 wrench in your hand. Yeah. And you look at your success with the 24 team and the records that you broke. How do you hope to leverage your success in the past to get the 88 team to victory lane?
Well, I think that's the key in the whole swap and how Mr. Hendrick organized everything is really all we're doing is moving drivers. So, we have the same team we've had success with. We're in the same building we've had success with. And to Dale's point on the car, we have a very good baseline on the chassis and bodies and cars that we've run. And we're excited to have Dale's input because, we've consistently fought the same problems, and Jeff's done a good job with feedback, and we've tried as hard as we can making adjustments. So hopefully Dale can either have a different feel or maybe just describe the same feel but in a different way. Maybe lead us in a different direction and hopefully continue the success. The building's won 9 championships with 2 different drivers, and we'd love to add, our 3rd driver to that resume.
It's all about people. It's all about communication. Junior Nation wants to know, how has the transition gone so far between you two guys coming together from 2 different teams?
So far, I'd say seamless. I think the big test is at the racetrack. You can only do so much prep work. You can only hang out so much. It's great to be friends, but that doesn't make a car go fast, And we've been to tracks, we've tested, we've improved, I think, from where we unloaded at the tests. But we really need to get to Daytona in race conditions, where the laps really do count, and see how we compete. And excited to get to Phoenix. Daytona will be a great way to start the year, but excited to get to Phoenix and Las Vegas and the 1 mile and mile-and-a-half tracks. I think that's where the majority of your season is, and that's where we kind of have to test the equipment we've brought so far and see where we stack up.
For some fans who may not know, Mr. Hendrick has the campus, so to speak, broken down in that for the past, it's always been the 24 and 48 teams in one building, the 5 and the 88 in another. Now, since you're joining, Dale with the 48 guys in that building, how will that carry over, Dale, do you think, as far as your success for the coming year? Being paired up with a building, like Stevie says, has a lot of championship banners hanging on the ceiling.
Yeah, well, those guys are accustomed to running well and having success, and accustomed to being up front. So there's a little added pressure, I think. But when you look at the equipment and you look at the way those guys go about their job, and you look at their track record, obviously, you feel like you can get the job done as well or better than you always want to improve. So
And you feel like you guys can gain from
Yeah.
that pairing, gain from their experience.
well, I can lean on their experience, obviously, and lean. They do a good job taking two teams and being one group and working with each other and working together to get faster. So that's been fun too. We've been at Daytona testing and back at the shop, and it's the two teams really work well together to find speed together, and they share speed, which is great. So I think that's why they run well.
I mean, besides the opportunity to try to be even more successful and add to your lengthy racing resume with so many wins, it's all about people, and it's almost like a new day of school in a way where you're meeting a lot of new guys. Yeah, you see them, you might not know them personally. Now you're getting a chance to meet some guys because you may have a guy that works on the 48 car Monday to Friday, but he's working on your car on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you're getting a chance really for chemistry to carry over from both teams.
Yeah, I suppose so. I look at that race shop as that's their spot, that's their personal space. I'm kind of the new guy coming in. I get a real instant connection with the race cars themselves as you're driving them. They belong to you as much as they do in my opinion, to Stevie and the guys that build them. But the shop itself is their house, and every time I go in there, you just kind of try not to step on anybody's toes and try to learn as much as you can, and learning all the guys' names and trying to learn what they do, what their job is, what their responsibilities are, what their personalities are like. Those are the things that you try to work on while you're around the shop.
They always say it all begins, your season as far as the success goes, how you start. In Daytona, the first race on the schedule, new pavement. From a driver's perspective, how does that change your preparation? And Stevie, from the crew chief's perspective, how does that change, maybe past game plans going into speed weeks?
It shifts your preparation a little bit off of the handling side of the car. We used to go down to Daytona and beat our brains in about how the track was changing and how the tire was wearing and how the car's balance was changing and what front package was the best to have the car working for you over the long run. And it was getting more and more frustrating each time we went to Daytona for speed weeks, as it seemed the track was continuously getting slicker and slicker. We don't have to worry about that now, so you can shift your focus in other directions and finding speed, and it's a little less pressure, I think, on our shoulders to not have to worry about that handling side of it at this point. I mean, that'll all come back to the racetrack over time, but it worries you a little bit more. I think the focus that I'll have is about the finish of the race and how we'll all probably be on top of each other. Everybody's car's handling just the same, and there's really no handle at all, and anyone in the field can make the right move and make it before you, and so just putting yourself in the right position, I think, is going to be critical at the end of the race, to be the guy who thinks of the right thing at first, and makes the right move first.
Has it changed your strategy now of giving him that winning car, because now you've got guys that can do two-car breakaways and different things like that have changed up the normal restrictor plate racing?
I mean, I think it's going to be completely different. I think anyone who knows how it's going to be is just fooling themselves. I think speed weeks in general is going to be a huge learning curve for everybody. We had cars on track in December to tire test with one size plate, and we saw one style of racing. We go back in January with a different size plate, and I never saw more than 5 or 6 cars in a pack. So I don't think that's a really fair assessment on how the week's going to go. I think it's the team that goes down there open-minded with tons of preparation. You'll be able to go any angle, whether it's the 2-car pack or the big pack, whether you have your cowl right for both or the cooling right for both. There's going to be a lot of compromise on speed versus being able to push your partner as long as possible in the 2-car pack. So I think the most important thing is to be on track. I think the Bud Shootout's going to be a huge, huge test. I think the 150s are going to be a huge test, because those are real race conditions. I mean, those aren't tests. I mean, if there's trophies on the line, they want to win them, and we're going to really see how people expect those races to finish. And it's going to be the team that goes down there and over the course of the week can be the most prepared for Sunday afternoon to at least give yourself a shot. And then I think it's, like Dale said, it's going to come down to a lot of strategy. in the seat and on the top of the pit box where you want to be, and you can only do so much and try to have a fast car. So when you get the push, maybe you can do something with it.
You know, and your fans always have high expectations because they want to see you win. They want to see you running up front. When you look at the new season, it seems like every team sits down and says, okay, these are our goals for the coming year. Anything above that is bonus. So what are your goals for 2011?
My intentions are to greatly improve on what I did last year. And, you know, we have, you know, the same intentions as everyone else in the field, and that's making the chase and trying to win the championship. And you're disappointed when you don't have opportunities at either one of those, regardless. But you know, we just want to go out there and be consistent, run up front at every racetrack, every weekend.
Stevie, you sit in your office, you've got all those chassis books from the past. You know, you sit down, you look at the races are coming up. What's your early season expectations? What are your goals? What are you looking to shoot for?
Well, I think, you know, the first, as Dale said, you know, I don't think it's fair or accurate to try to put a season-long goal. I mean, it's 36 weekends. It's a long, long time, and sometimes you can get the light at the end of the tunnel so far away you can never see it. You know, I think our goal is to we know we're going to be competitive in Daytona. I mean, anytime you take Dale Jr. to Daytona, you know you're going to run well. Hendrick power, I mean, we have the speed there. The most important thing for us is we feel we're a winning race team. We feel Dale's a winning driver. And you can't win from running average. You know, our goal is to become relevant, to be a team that continually sets speed in practice and brings that speed onto the race, a team that goes up there and leads laps, you know, not just by pit strategy, but to drive through the field and take the lead. You know, to win races, you have to run in the top 5, top 7. You don't win from 20th. You don't win from 15th. So the first thing we have to do is consistently be a contender. And if you're a contender long enough, you'll win races. I feel a little hypocritical saying that. Last year we tried and couldn't get to victory lane, but I'm confident that if we can get the speed in the cars, I know he knows how to win in the seat, and I know I can call a race to get to victory lane. We just need to have consistent speed at every style track.
All right, guys, thanks. Good luck in 2011. All right, Junior Nation, you've heard it here first from Amp Energy. The excitement is pegged. Speed Weeks is going to be great. The entire 2011 season should be excitement-filled. We're all psyched up. We'll see you at the races.